You ever like get in those conversations where someone just like drops this like crazy fact and you're just like, whoa, how did they know that?
Yeah.
I always kind of wished I could be that person.
The feeling of just like effortless knowledge.
Yeah, totally. And that's kind of what we're doing here with our Growth Within series, exploring those fascinating topics that help us all level up a bit in life.
Mm-hmm.
Today's deep dive is all about getting smarter.
Okay.
It's based on an article from growthwithin.com called How to Get Smarter.
Classic. Yeah, right? A classic quest.
So first things first, I think we got to like define what we even mean by smart,
Yeah.
right? What is it? Is it just like IQ scores and, awards and all that? Or is there something else?
Yeah, definitely more nuanced than just some number you get on a test.
Okay.
Like intelligence really is like this collection of different cognitive abilities, like how well we reason, how well we remember information, solve problems, and even like pay attention.
So it's like having a whole toolkit of different mental skills.
Exactly. And then like smartness is when you can actually use those tools effectively in real life.
Yeah.
So it's about applying your intelligence to like navigate challenges, make decisions, learn new things.
I like that distinction. So it's like you could have like the fanciest, most high-tech toolbox in the world, but if you don't know how to actually use any of the tools,
Right.
good luck assembling that bookshelf.
Exactly. It's not just about having the tools, it's understanding how and when to use them to get things done.
Totally. So listeners, what do you think makes someone truly smart? Is it like book smarts or street smarts or something else entirely? We'd love to hear your thoughts, but for now, let's jump into some of the good stuff.
Yeah, let's get practical.
The actual strategies for boosting brain power. The article highlights 9 of them.
Okay.
But we're going to unpack a few today.
Sounds good.
The first one is all about getting physical. It might seem kind of counterintuitive, but exercising your body can actually boost your brain power.
That's right. And like exercise, it increases blood flow to the brain, which helps nourish those brain cells and keeps them functioning well. And it also stimulates the release of BDNF, a protein that actually promotes the growth of new brain cells.
Wait, hold on. New brain cells. I thought we were just kind of stuck with what we were born with.
Yeah, that's a common misconception, but thankfully not true.
Right.
Our brains are remarkably adaptable thanks to something called neuroplasticity.
Okay.
Which basically means our brains can rewire themselves, form new connections, and even grow new brain cells.
Wow.
Based on our experiences and what we learn.
So our brains are kind of like muscles then. The more we use them, the stronger they get.
Exactly. And exercise is like cross-training for your brain.
I like that.
Helping to improve memory, attention, even decision-making.
Okay.
The article mentions that even short bursts of activity, like a brisk 10-minute walk, can make a difference.
That's encouraging because you don't have to like run a marathon to see the benefits. Speaking of mental workouts, the article also dives into space learning as a powerful technique for improving memory.
Absolutely. Instead of cramming information all at once, space learning is all about spreading out your study sessions over time.
Okay.
So it forces your brain to actively recall the information each time you revisit it, which actually strengthens those neural connections.
So it's like giving your brain a chance to like digest the information and make it stick.
Precisely. And it's way more effective than trying to cram everything in at the last minute.
Right.
Which often leads to information overload and quickly forgetting what you learned.
You just lose it.
Yeah, the article even cites studies showing that students who use spaced learning techniques perform way better on tests.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is making me rethink my entire study strategy.
Might be time to ditch those all-nighters.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's move on to a strategy that's near and dear to my heart, reading.
Yes, a classic brain booster.
Yeah.
It really is.
Why is that?
Well, reading engages so many different cognitive functions. You're taking in new information, making connections, visualizing scenes, and expanding your vocabulary. It's like a full body workout for your brain.
And I think what's often overlooked is that reading also exposes you to different perspectives and ways of thinking, which I think can make you a more critical and insightful thinker overall.
Absolutely. It's like stepping into someone else's shoes and seeing the world through their eyes.
Yeah.
It broadens your horizons and helps you develop a deeper understanding of the complexities of the world.
Totally. Speaking of expanding our horizons, the article also mentions the importance of getting out of our comfort zones.
Yes.
So how does that tie into becoming smarter?
It's all about challenging our brains with new experiences and information.
Okay.
So when we stick to our routines and familiar environments, our brains kind of go on autopilot, but when we push ourselves beyond the familiar, we force our brains to adapt and grow.
So it's like introducing a bit of chaos into our neatly ordered neural pathways.
You could say that. By trying new things, learning new skills, or even just having conversations with people who have different viewpoints.
Right.
We're essentially creating new neural connections and expanding our cognitive flexibility.
So it's not just about this specific knowledge we gain, but about making our brains more adaptable and resilient overall.
Exactly. The more flexible our brains are, the better we'll be at problem solving, navigating unfamiliar situations, and coming up with creative solutions.
Okay.
It's about training our brains to be more agile and responsive to the ever-changing world around us.
That makes a lot of sense. So listeners, if you're feeling stuck in a rut, maybe it's time to shake things up a bit, try a new hobby, take a different route to work, or strike up a conversation with someone you wouldn't normally talk to.
Right.
You might be surprised at how much it can boost your brain power.
I completely agree. Sometimes the smallest changes can lead to the biggest mental breakthroughs.
Yeah, that's true. Now, should we move on to another strategy?
Absolutely. This next one is all about sleep.
Sleep. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Welcome back to our deep dive on getting smarter,
where we're, exploring the fascinating world of brain power and how to unlock our potential.
Yeah. And in this part, we're going to talk about something really fundamental, but often overlooked.
Okay.
For enhancing your cognitive abilities.
Okay. I'm listening. Sleep. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I am so guilty of burning the midnight oil, thinking like, oh, I can outsmart sleep. But I'm starting to realize that's not how it works.
Yeah. You and many others, I think we live in a culture that really glorifies busyness and productivity. But the truth is that sleep is not a luxury.
Okay.
It's a necessity for our brains to function optimally.
So it's not just about feeling rested, like what's actually happening in our brains while we're sleeping.
Right.
That is so important.
Well, sleep is far from passive.
Right.
While our bodies are resting, our brains are incredibly active.
Interesting.
Carrying out these essential processes that are vital for learning, memory consolidation, and overall cognitive function.
So it's like our brains are working overtime while we're off the clock.
Precisely. One of the key functions of sleep is memory consolidation.
Okay.
So during the day, we're constantly taking in new information.
Yeah.
But it's during sleep that our brains process and store those memories, making them more stable and accessible for later.
So if we're not getting enough sleep, we're essentially shortchanging our brain's ability to learn and remember.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Learning during the day is like taking notes in a lecture.
Okay.
While sleep is like organizing those notes and transferring them into a long-term storage system. Yeah. Without proper sleep, our notes just remain scattered and jumbled, making it harder to recall the information later.
Wow, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So skimping on sleep is like sabotaging our own mental filing system.
You could say that, and it's not just about memory.
Okay.
Sleep also plays a crucial role in strengthening neural connections, which is essential for learning and cognitive flexibility.
Okay. Those connections that we're making during the day, they're actually solidified and reinforced while we sleep.
That's right. During sleep, our brains replay the experiences and information we encounter during the day.
Interesting.
Strengthening those neural pathways and making them more robust, this process is essential for turning new knowledge into lasting skills and habits.
It's like hitting the save button on all the hard work our brains have done throughout the day.
Exactly. And another fascinating aspect of sleep is its role in clearing out waste products that accumulate in our brains during waking hours.
Waste products. What do you mean by that?
Well, as our brain cells work throughout the day, they produce metabolic byproducts that need to be removed. It's like taking out the trash.
Okay.
And one of the primary ways our brains get rid of this waste is through the glymphatic system, which is essentially the brain's cleaning crew.
So while we're sleeping, our brains are busy taking out the garbage.
Got it. And this cleaning process is crucial for maintaining a healthy brain environment and ensuring that our brain cells can function efficiently.
Oh.
When we don't get enough sleep, this waste can build up, leading to cognitive sluggishness and impairing our mental clarity.
This is all starting to make sense. I'm starting to realize that sleep is not just about feeling rested.
Right.
It's about giving our brains the downtime they need to do some serious maintenance and optimization.
I'm glad you're seeing the light. Sleep is truly one of the most powerful tools we have for enhancing our cognitive abilities.
So how much sleep do we really need to be functioning at our best?
Most adults need between 7 and 8 hours of quality sleep per night.
Okay.
And by quality sleep, I mean sleep that is uninterrupted and allows you to cycle through the different stages of sleep, including deep sleep and REM sleep.
Okay, so it's not just about the quantity, but also the quality of our sleep.
Exactly. Deep sleep is particularly important for memory consolidation and physical restoration, while REM sleep is crucial for emotional processing, creativity, and problem solving.
So if we're only getting a few hours of fragmented sleep, we're missing out on some crucial brain benefits.
That's right. Think of it like trying to run a marathon on a few hours of sleep. You might be able to start, but you're not going to perform at your best, and you're putting yourself at risk of burnout.
This is all starting to sound a bit like a wake-up call, pun intended.
It's never too late to prioritize sleep and give your brain the rest it deserves.
Well, now I'm definitely feeling motivated to get more shut-eye. So what are some practical tips for improving our sleep quality?
There are many things you can do to create conducive sleep environment and promote healthy sleep habits.
Like what? I'm all ears.
One of the most important is establishing a regular sleep schedule.
Okay.
Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends, to regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
So consistency is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It helps set your internal clock and makes it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. Another key factor is creating a relaxing bedtime routine.
Okay, I've heard about that, but what does that actually look like?
It's about winding down in the hour or two before bed and signaling to your body that it's time to sleep. This could involve taking a warm bath, reading a book, listening to calming music, or practicing relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation.
So it's about creating a soothing transition from the busyness of the day to the calmness of sleep.
Exactly. And it's important to avoid screen time in the hour before bed.
Oh no, that's my biggest culprit.
I know, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But the blue light emitted from our devices can interfere with melatonin production, a hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
So scrolling through social media before bed is actually sabotaging our sleep.
I'm afraid so. It's best to swap those screens for a book or a relaxing conversation instead.
Okay, I'm starting to see the light. Literally, are there any other sleep saboteurs we should be aware of?
Caffeine and alcohol are big ones.
Okay.
While caffeine can provide a temporary energy boost, it can disrupt your sleep later on.
Mm-hmm.
And although alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, it can actually interfere with deep sleep and REM sleep, leaving you feeling groggy in the morning.
So that nightcap might not be so beneficial after all.
It's best to avoid it if you want to optimize your sleep quality and finally make sure your bedroom is a conducive sleep environment.
Okay.
This means keeping it cool, dark, and quiet.
So blackout curtains and a good white noise machine are good investments.
Absolutely. Creating a sanctuary for sleep can make a world of difference in how well you sleep and how sharp you feel the next day.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
I'm feeling inspired to prioritize sleep and give my brain the rest it deserves.
I'm glad to hear. Remember, sleep is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It's a sign of intelligence.
Okay, I'm officially ditching the I'll sleep when I'm dead mentality.
That's the spirit. Sleep is an investment in your cognitive health and well-being.
Well said. Now, should we move on to our final part, where we'll explore some more fascinating strategies for boosting brain power?
Let's do it. There's still so much more to uncover in this quest for cognitive enhancement.
All right, so welcome back to the final part of our deep dive on getting smarter,
where we've been exploring all these different ways we can boost our brain power, and unlock our cognitive potential.
Right, and in this last part, we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about a topic that might surprise you.
Ooh, okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we've talked about exercising our bodies, exercising our minds, but what about exercising our emotions?
You're talking about emotional intelligence, EQ.
Okay, yeah.
Often overlooked when we think about getting smarter.
Right.
But it is so important.
So what exactly is emotional intelligence, and how does it tie into our cognitive abilities?
So emotional intelligence, or EQ, is basically the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as recognize and empathize with the emotions of others.
Okay.
So it's about being aware of how our emotions influence our thoughts and behaviors.
Yeah. And
using that awareness to make better decisions and build stronger relationships.
So it's not just about being touchy-feely. It actually has practical implications for how we think and act.
Absolutely. Research shows that people with high EQ tend to be more successful in various aspects of life.
Okay.
From their careers to their personal relationships.
Yeah.
They're better at communicating effectively, resolving conflicts, navigating complex social situations.
That makes sense. If you can understand and manage your own emotions, you're probably less likely to let them kind of hijack your decision-making.
Right.
Or cloud your judgment.
Exactly. And being able to empathize with others is crucial for building trust and rapport, which are essential for effective collaboration and teamwork.
Okay. So how do we actually cultivate emotional intelligence? Is it something we're born with, or can we develop over time?
Thankfully, like many other cognitive abilities, emotional intelligence can be learned and strengthened.
Okay.
It's about developing self-awareness, practicing empathy, and honing our communication skills.
Can you give us some specific examples of how to do that?
Sure. One simple but powerful exercise is to start paying closer attention to your own emotions throughout the day.
Okay.
Notice how you feel in different situations, what triggers certain emotions, and how those emotions impact your thoughts and behaviors.
So it's about becoming more mindful of our own, internal landscape.
Exactly. The more aware we are of our own emotions, the better equipped we are to manage them effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Another key aspect of emotional intelligence is practicing empathy.
Okay.
This means making a conscious effort to understand and appreciate other people's perspectives, even if they're different from our own.
Yeah, that can be challenging sometimes, especially when we strongly disagree with someone.
I agree, it's not always easy, but it's essential for building strong relationships and navigating conflicts constructively.
For sure.
One way to practice empathy is to simply ask questions and listen attentively to what the other person has to say without interrupting or trying to impose your own views.
So it's about putting ourselves in their shoes and trying to see the world through their eyes.
Exactly. And it's amazing how much we can learn and grow from simply listening to and understanding other people's perspectives.
This is all making me realize that emotional intelligence isn't just some soft skill.
Right.
It's actually a crucial component of being a smart, adaptable, and successful human being.
I couldn't agree more. It's about recognizing that our emotions are not our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
They're valuable sources of information that can guide us toward making better decisions and living more fulfilling lives.
Well said. So listeners, as you embark on your journey to get smarter, don't forget to nurture your emotional intelligence along the way. It might just be the secret weapon you need to unlock your full potential.
Absolutely. And remember, true intelligence is about embracing the full spectrum of our cognitive abilities, from our rational minds to our emotional hearts.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I've learned so much. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and helping us all understand what it truly means to get smarter.
It's been my pleasure. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery.
Yes.
We hope you've learned something new and are feeling inspired to continue exploring the fascinating world of your own minds.
Remember, the quest for knowledge is a lifelong adventure, so keep those brains buzzing.